While walking down the street, David and Andressa, who were married, met and started talking. The woman started to say how she could stay with him for so long, and now she has a rich family fiancé. He counters saying that he is also dating a very young woman, beautiful and important. His ex doesn't believe the story told and says he doesn't have anyone. She's just saying that because she's jealous of her. She's with a rich fiancé and he doesn't have anyone. Of course not, she owns this building next door, he replies, going to kiss the cheek of an employee who was sweeping the sidewalk next door. Andressa asks if she is that girl and he says, yes, I introduce you to V. D corrects him saying that it is Victory, and a little embarrassed he explains that he likes to call her by an affectionate nickname. The ex asks him why Vittoria, who he says owns the building, is wearing a cleaning lady's clothes and sweeping the sidewalk. The guy explains that it's not because she's rich, that she just keeps ordering others around. No matter how much money she has, she likes to do everything the tasks. He turns to her saying, love is going to change clothes, put on something nice so we can go eat something. Andressa looks her up and down and doesn't believe she's rich, but he goes on to explain that she works as a digital influencer and has even gone to other countries to do interviews in the most famous places. In an ironic tone, the ex tells him to schedule a dinner so that they can sign the divorce papers together with their current fiancés. He says it looks great and they confirm they will be there. When the ex-wife leaves Vittoria, who was sweeping the sidewalk away from David, he then replies that he was embarrassed and didn't know what to do, so he had to hug her to show that he is also happy with someone else. Vittoria fights with him asking, do you think I'm an object to keep using me? He asks her to stop the drama and that it wasn't a big deal, still keeps saying, and another you should be happy to be able to be with a handsome guy like me. She pleads for patience and turns to leave, but he pulls her back, apologizes, and insists that she go to dinner with him. Vittoria replies that she would like to, but they are very different, since she is poor and he is rich. He also says that she would never be able to talk to people at the level of his ex, who is so elegant. He asks her to calm down, because he will help her with everything she needs to do and convinces her to go, but she imposes a salary increase condition. David doesn't like it and backs off, but she explains that she will have to do it the hardest part of being his fiancé and threatens to leave if he refuses, so he does. The two start planning their dinner date and decide to go to a private stylist friend of David's. Arriving there, he explains to the stylist that he needs to transform the Victory very quickly because dinner will be in an hour. Tiago replies that it was a very difficult task, but accepts the challenge and asks her to try on some clothes. She goes to the locker room and begins to present some options for Tiago and David, who don't like the first clothes very much. After 3 changes, they finally like a dress that was perfect on her, and she also loved how it turned out. David pleases the stylist and asks Victory to go. They go to the car. He opens the door for Victory to enter and praises her. When he enters, he says that he needs to stop by the company first to pick up some documents, but Victory tells him to go to the square to buy snacks for her to eat, since she's only going to eat for dinner and doesn't want to go hungry. David replies that he doesn't have time for that, and she says that if he doesn't leave, she convinces him, and the two go to the square to have a snack. While they eat, he says that he had never eaten that before and that it is very good, and Vittoria replies, I know, it's just that people in your class don't know the good things in life, like this snack. He caresses her face and says the only class he knows is her beauty, and she smiles. At that time, a man arrives screaming and asking what Vittoria is doing there. David asks who he is to keep talking to Vittoria like that, but the man starts to pull her by the arms, forcing her to go with him. David tries to stop it by telling the boy to leave Victory, but the boy, who is bigger, reacts and David falls to the ground after being punched in the face. Vittoria slaps the guy in the face and says, "Get out of here, I have nothing to do with you anymore." The boy replies that it won't stay like that and leaves. Vittoria helps David, who apologizes for not being able to defend him from that man. She replies that he thought his action was very nice, but asks what he had in his head to face that huge guy and think he had chances. David says that he would never let anyone hurt her, and she replies, "Until you did pretty well for a rich kid," and ask them to come to dinner soon. Arriving at the ex's house, they knock on the door and she answers in ordinary clothes, saying that she didn't think they would really go, but asks them to come in and make themselves at home. David replies, "Of course we came, and it's obvious that I'm going to feel at home. I'm the one who bought it," and he asks where her fiancé is. She replies that he had an unforeseen event at his father's company and couldn't be there. David tells her to get the papers right away, but she tells him to calm down and asks them to sit on the couch. Once settled in, Andressa asks Vittoria what she thinks about the engagement. Since David only cares about work and nothing else, Vittoria contradicts her and replies, "No, he's really sweet, he takes care of me very well, gives me gifts and a lot of attention." The ex tells her to take advantage of this phase, because this whole romance is just at the beginning, and she says, "If you want, I can give you some tips on the things he likes and wants you to do." David, a little irritated, says, "Andressa is here, just bring me those papers as soon as I want to leave." She takes the papers and hands them to him, who quickly signs them and returns them, saying that he doesn't owe her anything anymore. Vittoria asks them to leave now, and the two leave the house. Outside they start talking. David thanks her for going, and she replies that she even liked it. He then proposes that they go to dinner together. Happy, she accepts and reminds him of the raise he owes her. Smiling, David says he will give the raise and many kisses. In front of the ex's house, they kiss, making her jealous.